What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we're just going to do a quick little recap of my first Powerlifting America meet, which took place a week ago. Took me a while to get to this because me and my wife went on vacation to Cancun, Mexico the day after the meet, or really like the morning after. So there really wasn't any time to do anything other than just pack and get ready. The meet went pretty good. The first off, just like the goal was just to get a total Powerlifting America. I'm already signed up for their nationals in March, and I did not have a total in the federation. There's no minimum qualifying total as of right now, but I needed something. So the level to which we were going to push or try to go for PRs was really just let's just see what we got kind of thing. See how training went, see how I felt on the day. I think we ended up, in my mind, like everything was kind of ambiguous how hard I was going to push basically until the second squat. Uh, so I was feeling very unsure. I got sick about 2 weeks out. Training kind of didn't, it just was a little flat. It wasn't great. So I didn't know what I was going to have on the day, basically. But I started warming up on squat that day. Things were moving okay. Everything kind of felt a little off. It was kind of a weird warm up situation. We had to share like a power rack, so we just kind of like worked on one height, which I guess I did that my last meet too. But for some reason, there wasn't enough weight either. There were some pretty strong people there, and there wasn't enough plates in the back to accommodate everybody. So we were like always like taking plates from one bar, moving to another. But it is what it is. It moved well in the end. So last squat warm up felt just okay. Coach reminded me to make sure I sync them. Powerlifting America, he wasn't sure how strict they were going to be. So we'll go on to the squat opener. 220 kilos, 485 pounds. It was very poorly executed. I mean, I sunk it. I really gave it, tried to go as deep as I could on it. But like it was just not a clean feeling squat. So the speed to which it should have moved was like not really there. So I was feeling kind of unsure about the plan of PRing the lifts and stuff. So we put in place a plan to kind of PR each lift appropriately, and was kind of unsure after the opener. But we moved up to the plan second, 518 pounds or 235 kilos. And that one felt really, really good. I think I recall even saying that to my coach, like, oh, that felt good. Let's go for it. So we loaded up for a 5 kilo PR, which was 245 kilos or 540 pounds. And that moved about as good as you want a third to move. I didn't have anything left really. I think that it looks a touch high on the video. I did get one red light, presumably for depth. Since it was the third, I didn't bother asking why. But we got it. We got a 5 kilo PR at 3 kilo lighter body weight. Because of the Mexico trip I mentioned earlier, I had been trying to lose a little bit of weight in conjunction with just kind of feeling like it was time to recomp a little bit. So we 3 kilos lighter from 9-week turnaround, PR'd the squat by 5 kilos. So it's a good spot to be in. I feel really, really happy with that in the end. Moving on to bench. Bench warm-ups were feeling really good. Probably the best bench has felt in several weeks, or had felt in several weeks, I should say. So went to the opener, which was 152 kilos or 336 pounds. And it moved great. I felt really good about the opener. It kind of felt like after I unracked it, it took them a second to give me a start command, and my feeling was because I was having like slightly soft elbows, like they weren't fully locked. And turns out I was correct in that feeling. So this is when I went to my second, which was 162.5 kilos or for 358 pounds. After I unracked, they actually told me, the head judge told me to straighten my elbow, which I did. And I sort of tempoed it a little bit. At least in the moment, it felt really slow coming down to my chest. But it was a good, solid press. I probably had 2.5 kilos more on the day, which comes to the conversation between me and my coach about what we wanted to go up to for the third. Again, the plan was to just PR the lift by 2.5. And he said it's going to be, might not be there. He thought that tying it at 364 or 165 kilos would have for sure been there. I don't know if for sure would have been the right answer. I don't know. I think I was feeling some of the residual effects of being sick, especially on bench press, like being like upside down, because we ended up going for the 167, which would have been a 2.5 kilo PR, or 369 pounds. And the thought process, at least in the moment, was, well, I already have a 5 kilo PR on squat. If I don't PR right now, I'm only 2.5 under my last bench. So I'm still in position to PR the total, which is the number one thing. So just kind of went for it, right? And it was not there. Execution was solid, but strength I don't think was there for that lift on the day. But it was going to be a roll of dice whether I got it or not. And because of that sickness, I kind of felt like not necessarily blacking out. I don't want to be like too extreme, because clearly I had the bar in my hands the whole time. I didn't like drop it, but it just kind of felt like I didn't have like didn't have like my bearings. Like I kind of almost like got like a little lightheaded. I guess that's the word. And I felt very lightheaded after the lift, and then I really felt like I needed to like calm down and settle before we got into deadlifts. And so yeah, we ended up with 358 on the second, only 2.5 kilos under my best. So I can't really complain about that. With a 9-week turnaround and 3 kilo lighter body weight. And we get into deadlifts. Opened up at 556 pounds or 252 kilos, and not really much to report with that. That was the planned opener. Moved the way an opener should, maybe even faster than an opener should, which is just the way I like to do it, especially on deadlift. We changed my second from 595, which would have been 270 kilos. We upped it 2.5 to 272. And the reason was to PR the total, if the math was right. I can't remember if it was either to PR the total or to tie the total on my second, so that if I missed my third, that I was at least walking away feeling good about that. Because if it was to match my total, it would have been a lighter body weight, so it would have been a win. So we took 272, 601 on the second, and it moved really good. That was also my second and my last meet. And I think it definitely moved better at this one. Moving on to the third, we took a 10 kilo jump to 623 or 282.5 kilos. This is a 10 kilo platform PR. There was a brief conversation about maybe going higher, but I was like, no, if he thinks the 623, my coach said, I think the 623 will for sure be there. So we went with that. And I should know, I did get one red light on the 601. I like to kind of oversell my lockouts, making sure I'm nice and proud, but I guess I hyperextended and my left knee came unlocked, or at least it looked that way to the judge. And that judge specifically in the rules briefing said to not do that. So I think he was really looking for it. It was still 2-1, still got the lift. But it put a little note in my brain to not do that, or at least not as much. So when I got to the 623, um, execution was great. I really got into a rhythm. With the way I pull, I like to really time the way each hand grabs the bar, and um, when I pull slack into the wedge, it's very rhythmic. At least it feels that way to me. And I was really happy with the way all that went. And it was a tough pull, but as soon as it left the floor, I knew I had it. So I had enough time to think about with how slow it was going, to not oversell that lockout, to not get, I would hate for my knees to come unlocked and not get it because I was trying to oversell it being a good lift. That doesn't make any sense, right? So we ended up with a 10 kilo PR on deadlift. Um, all in all, the total was 690 kilos. It's 12 and a half over my best at, again, 3 kilo lighter body weight. My dots went up to 411. That's 10 points above. It's still nothing crazy or spectacular, obviously, but we're chipping away. We're chipping away at putting together something good. And I'm super proud of it. Obviously, for me as an individual, the goal is really just to be better every time I hit the platform, especially at this point, being fairly early into powerlifting. So I don't really have any complaints about this meet. You know, maybe I should have taken a lighter third on my bench, but I mean, it wasn't going to make a big difference in the day. So that was a gamble that I'm 100% happy with. I'm not upset that we took that gamble on the day. Heading into the off season here, it's only like 4-5 months worth of training. Let me see, we have all of November, all of December, January, February. It's like 4.5 months of training. We're going to continue the goal of filling out the weight class. We did a quick little mini cut here for about 8 weeks, but now we're going to try to fill it out again and hopefully come in a little bigger to nationals in March. There's a little more volume going on, at least this first block. We'll talk more about that, I guess, later, but we're going to doing some high bar squats, some close grip feet up bench, some hack squats, and try to get a little bigger, build some more muscle, fill out the class, and don't really have like a total goal or anything for that meet yet. We'll just kind of see where I'm at. I mean, if I'm at 690 now, definitely something over 700 would be like a cool landmark total. But we'll just take what's there. Really just going for the experience of national level meet because I haven't done one. There's gonna be a lot of good lifters there. Speaking of which, I didn't sign up for this meet that I just did for this reason, but it was a cool, happy coincidence. Mike T was there. That was awesome being able to watch him compete, let alone be relatively close to him in lifting. He out-totaled me by, I don't know, 200 kilos, so I wasn't really competing with him, but almost every lift it went like me, one of the other guys from Ironside, and then Mike T, which was cool. It was a cool experience. And Nationals is just going to be more of that because there's going to be more of those guys that are really strong there. So other than that, guys, we'll catch you on the next